There are places in this world that seem to reject the presence of the living. Houses that hold their breath. The Blackwood Manor, nestled on the edge of the Appalachian foothills, is one of those places. When authorities finally breached the heavy oak doors of the estate on a freezing Tuesday in November, they were completely unprepared for the reality inside. They expected to find a family. Instead, they found an impossible void. The Blackwood family, Arthur, a highly respected architect, his wife Eleanor, and their 3 children had simply ceased to exist. To this day, investigators piece together the fragmented clues of their final hours. What happened in the house's conceivable whole is a mystery, enveloped in a darkness that defies logical explanation. Was it a delicate vanishing act or something far more esoteric? To understand the profound emptiness left behind, you must first look at the idyllic facade they presented to the world. Before the incident, the Blackwoods were the very picture of suburban perfection, even in their profound isolation. They had been living out here for nearly a decade. Arthur was a brilliant designer, known for his unconventional use of space. Eleanor was a botanist who spent her days cultivating rare, nocturnal flora in her sprawling glass greenhouse. To the nearby town, they were eccentric but harmless. Yet, behind the heavy iron gates, the family's routine was governed by strict, almost ritualistic rules. Deliveries were to be left at the gate. Windows were always drawn by dusk. For years, the locals decided to brush off, deliberately ignoring the family's increasingly bizarre reclusiveness. People assume that those who live quietly are living safely. But normal families do not map the acoustic resonances of their own hallways, nor do they spend thousands of dollars importing soil from geologically unique locations. It was this veneer of normalcy that made their sudden departure so unsettling. The first signs that something was abnormal began in early October. The local postman noticed a strange similarity between the strange geometric symbols suddenly carved into the manor's front door and the obscure architectural diagrams Arthur had once published. Then came the noise. At night, a low, persistent vibration seemed to emanate from the very bedrock beneath the manor. The few neighbors who lived near enough to hear it complained of severe headaches and a growing, palpable sense of dread, a weight on their chests. Yet, local law enforcement did nothing. When they finally decided to investigate, they realized the situation did not boil down to a mere noise complaint. The letters in the mailbox, sent but uncollected, had been meticulously opened, scrubbed entirely of ink, and placed back in their envelopes. The family was systematically erasing their ties to the outside world, preparing for a departure that would happen in the dead of night. On November 18th, a welfare check was finally initiated. Scarcely had the officers stepped over the threshold when they realized something was profoundly wrong. There was no sign of a struggle. No forced entry, just a profound silence. A quiet so absolute it felt as though the house itself had been vacuum sealed. The investigators walked through the labyrinthine corridors, those winding, complex passages Arthur had designed, feeling a deep psychological unease. The dining table was set, coats hung on the rack, but the Blackwoods were gone. The lead detective later noted that the air in that house created a severe cognitive dissonance, the overwhelming clash between the perfect, mundane setting and the horrific reality of their absence. The house, a crime scene with no crime, was a puzzle that defied solution. The authorities spent weeks tearing the property apart, desperate for answers. They quickly managed to rule out foul play from an outside intruder. The house was locked from the inside, the heavy oak door sealed with an industrial resin. The investigation felt like a relentless wild goose chase, a desperate hunt for phantoms. But the empty house was merely the tip of the iceberg, just a fraction of the bizarre truth. Hidden beneath the greenhouse, behind a false wall, they found Arthur's final architectural masterpiece, a subterranean resonance chamber. The walls were lined with diaries detailing Arthur's belief in harmonic dissolution, the theory that the right sonic frequency could shatter the physical boundaries of human existence. If the investigators had known to look at the blueprints instead of looking for footprints, they would have seen the truth sooner. The family didn't just leave. They didn't just die. Too read between the lines of Arthur's final journal entry is to stare into the abyss of madness. He wrote, "The house is tuned. Tonight, we become the frequency." Whether they succumb to a shared delusion or they manage to successfully slip away into some unseen dimension remains unknown. But what is certain, beyond a shadow of a doubt, is that the Blackwood family orchestrated their own erasure. The manor still stands, silent and waiting, casting a long shadow over the valley, a monument to an unsolvable, esoteric finale. If this story fascinated you, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell for more mysteries like this. Tell me in the comments, what do you think really happened inside Blackwood Manor? And if you want to take your English to the next level, download the Concord Black dossier about this case. You'll discover more details about the story while learning powerful English. Click the link in the description, and I'll see you in the next story.